Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with the slightly late round 5 recap due to jury duty. This is the game Teimour Radjabov versus Liren. Let's get right to the game. It started off as a Catalan with g3, bishop b4 check. Bishop d2 is the most common move. Radjabov decided to play knight d2. He's hoping this will take later and he'll have two bishops. Castles, bishop g2. And still very Catalan-esque. b6 was played since the bishop doesn't really have any other good squares. Everybody's fianchettoing. And white's like, I want a fianchetto too. Okay, and we have this very equalist position. Rook c8 to play c5. Rook c1. Queen e7. e3. Very, very slow, methodical build-up by Radjabov, not really giving him any advantage. c5. cd, bishop d5, obviously just an equal position. Nobody has the advantage. We're just trading everything. We have a symmetrical pawn structure. We're trading pieces. The engine just says it's equal. And Radjabov plays for, I don't want to say a disadvantage. Radjabov plays for the advantage by playing e4. Otherwise, he could play knight f3, either knight's f3, and start trading more pieces. But instead, he plays at e4. He wants to play f4 and get an advantage. Although f4 could weaken some of the squares around his king and give black the advantage. So, you know, Radjabov's going for it. e4, play for the initiative. Rook d8. Rook takes c8. Rook takes c8. Still pretty equal. f4, going for it. Go for it, as Rocky would say. Knight to g6. Now, to me, this is too loose. If I have white, I don't like playing like this. Because I play d4 openings a lot. I don't like having all this, loose kind of space here near my king. Very suspicious. Knight c4. The engine still says it's about equal. Queen b7, threatening the e-pawn. a3, attacking the bishop. Bishop c5. The rook goes to e1 and defends the pawn. b5, forcing the knight back. The engine prefers black now. White's retreating. It looks nice, but what is he doing with it? That's the problem. Okay, so the players didn't do very much. They moved around. Rook d8, rook c8. Is it going to be a repetition? The answer is fries. And now he plays the move after repeating twice. h5, playing for the win. Probably worried that white would play g4. Okay, now in this position, black certainly has the advantage because the white square bishops are gone and black has pressure, all over white's position. And here I don't like white's next move, h4. The engine doesn't dislike it as much as I do, but I don't like just giving away the g4 square. Okay, he tries to hop in. White says, I'm going to mate you on g7. Black says, no thanks. White says, hey, let's repeat. And black says, nah, I think I'll play for a win. I wonder if they actually said that during the game. Knight g4, we can't play queen c3 now because the rook's on c8. b4, giving away the c4 square. Not a big fan of that move either. I think it's like these moves h4 and b4 are pretty weakening. Rook d2. In this position, the engine likes black quite a bit after knight c6. But he played rook c4, which is also okay. Now, you can play the amazing move, knife f5. Always play knife f5. In fact, that's what he should play, unleashing the latent potential here on the queen. Queen takes d3, knight takes e7 check, king f8, knight g6 check exclam, former muscle, f takes g6, rook d3, and it looks like rook check wins a piece, but I have rook to d2, so that does nothing. So in this position, rook takes e4 wins a pawn, but look at black's pawn structure. White has excellent drawing chances after bishop d4. This is what white should do. Instead, after rook c4, he retreated with queen e2, queen b7. Black is much better again. Queen d3, never play f6. King h3, trying to get off this diagonal. Queen c8, trying to get on this diagonal. And after e5, the engine really likes f5. It says that black has a strategically winning position. but he traded instead. This lets the knight go to f5 sometimes instead of playing f5, and it opens the f file. So he preferred doing this. And now black has one winning move, but he missed it. White has tremendous counterplay if white gets in knight g5. This is why black played f6 earlier, stopping knight g5. Because knight g5, queen goes to h7, the knights attack this. So here, black should play bishop takes d4. The engine says this is winning. Okay, if we take with the knight, we can't play knight g5 anymore. Now we play queen a8, trying to get to h1 here. And black's queen is going to end up on d5. The e5 pawn is going to be loose. The knight is under pressure. The king isn't so good. And if he takes with the bishop, so he can continue to play knight g5, we play queen c6. Obviously, we can't play queen c6 if there's a knight on d4. And now you can't play knight g5 because queen h1 is winning. And the engine says this should be winning for black. Black's going to play knight f5. That's why white doesn't want to take with the bishop on d4. White wants a knight on d4 because he wants to stop knight f5. So bishop takes d4 is winning according to the engine. Instead, g6 was played, and this throws away all of his advantage. And of course, it's move 40 with him having less than a minute left. The truth hurts. Knight g5, putting tremendous pressure on this pawn on e6. Bishop takes d4, one move too late. Queen a8, threatening queen h1, queen f3, and this ending is a draw. Black's better, but there's so few pieces on the board. Even though black has a pawn up here, white just plays rook e2 and wins everything back. The game ended pretty quickly with them trading everything. And this is move 50. You can agree to a draw after move 40 without a repetition. And this is obviously a dead draw. The players agreed to a draw. Ding had a winning position that game. Radjabov defended pretty well. And he missed his one chance on move 40 with very little time on his clock. So you can't really blame him because nobody told him you have a winning move. You have to find it. And with very little time on his clock. An excellent game from Ding, obtaining a winning position strategically in this sort of equalist position. Radjabov going too far, pushing too many of his pawns on both sides of the board, creating too many weaknesses and good squares for Ding's pieces. But in the end, Ding couldn't figure out how to win, and Radjabov defended well and drew. Hope you enjoy the recaps from round 5 here on YouTube. You can watch live at twitch.tv/GMBenjaminFeingold. This is Grandmaster Ben Feingold. Until next time, see you, YouTubers. Bye.